Hi again, I'm Marius, a front-end developer from Wix, and before front-end I was actually a research scientist in the field of organic chemistry, and I'm very interested in all the academic topics like the one I'm going to talk about. So in Wix I help creating a platform for professional developers by providing them with a database, a code runtime for front-end and back-end code, dynamic data binding, everything with zero configuration. So the goal of this talk is actually not to teach you anything new because of very short time, but instead I will try to show you that we already know and use these concepts I'm going to talk about like every day. So ADTs, algebraic data types. They are just basically data types composed of other smaller types, like we compose structures out of Lego building blocks, or like we compose functions. And there are two classes of ADTs, algebraic data types, which we will cover soon, product types and sum types. And these concepts are also language agnostic, meaning that they apply to any language we are coding in. So the basic building blocks for the type composition are these in JavaScript. 3 of them represent data, and 2 of them represent absence of data. So the first type, an example of a product type, is called a fruit salad. And a fruit salad is an apple and a banana and a cherry, one of each of the subtypes. So let's try counting how many different fruit salads can we make. Almost. Yeah, so the correct answer was 12, and we actually get it by multiplying 3 apples, 2 bananas, and 2 cherries. The result of the multiplication operation in maths is called product, so that's why the type is called a product type. And this is kind of an example of a product type in JavaScript. A person needs to have all 3 different properties represented by different types, a string, a number, and a boolean in this particular case. An example of a sum type is a fruit snack. So to have a fruit snack, we need an apple or a banana or a cherry. Each of the fruits. You probably can guess the next slide. The same question again. How many different fruit snacks can we have? This one, I guess, is a little easier. Okay, and the correct answer was 7. So we simply get it by adding 3 apples, 2 different bananas, and 2 different cherries. And the result of the addition operation, as everybody knows, is called a sum. So that's why the type is called a sum type. So is it okay to use sum types? Because it looks like it's a bad practice mixing up types and store them under a single value. But actually, it's not bad in mixing types in itself. Bad things happen only when we forget that we're dealing with sum types. Like in this example in JavaScript, I assumed that the type of the name was a string, but actually its type was not a string. Its type was a sum type of a string and undefined. And it's very easy to fix this particular problem. Just what I need to do is to take care of every possible type represented by this sum type. In this case, string or undefined. Why is it called algebraic? Simply because algebraic operations such as multiplication and addition are used to compose these types. And going back to one of the first slides, we see that definition for ADTs itself is an algebraic data type, right? It is either a product or a sum, meaning that it is a sum type. And if we look around us, actually a lot of objects in our world can be seen as algebraic types, which makes it a really powerful concept when we try to model things in our code. So if there is one thing to remember from this short talk, it is this smiling face. Thank you.